We're gonna do one more song before we start. Okay. Let's do some checkup, guys. Give me a second. Okay. Welcome again. This is the after hour late night edition of Chaos Rain. We do the graveyard ship over here. As you know, I'm Chaos Rain here. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And those who be new to the future, you should always know, hit the red button, hit the top bell, not the middle or the lower bell. You must hit the top bell. Where the top bell goes ding, ding, ding. That's when you know you get uploads or any other notifications for future live streams here on Chaos Rain channel. You can now follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7, which I will put the link here for those who want to follow me. And you now can follow me on Facebook, Eric Rain, as well. So let me do this. Since I am on Twitter right now, I will share the Twitter link. If I can find it. And I'm gonna have to do this because okay, there we go. Because one thing I did not do properly. Let me do. All right. I'm not sure who else is up at this time of night, but hey, what's good, Mary? Oh, matter of fact, let me drop the link. Why not? This is open night. I did say open mic, so there you have it. For those who want to come in, we're just going to have a chop up of things that go on social media. Hey, we can even talk about politics. A lot of things have been going on lately. As you know, this is the weekend, a long weekend for all of us here. One thing I've noticed, because there's been a lot of things trending on social media in regards to latest gossip, people that's in-house, not out-house, meaning there are some celebrities that people talk about and do streams on it and do uploads. But really and truly, what really is going on is that people don't really talk about is this importing of a lot of Afghan people, males and females, after the war, the 20-year stench war since 2001. So let me open up, see who's here. Can you hear me? As I get his mic set up.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's good, Mary? I know I hit you up a few times. I know you've been busy, and I know you want to do some things. I know you had a lot on your mind, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I gotta been dealing with just a lot of stuff. I'm trying to move, or I'm gonna be moving soon. I really need to start packing. Then I got my and of course I'm still working. Then I got my project I got going on. That's been a headache in and of itself, man.
Okay.
So and then aside from that, it's just other stuff that just comes up, unexpected stuff.
Okay.
It's like they say, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what's been up, man? What's been going on?
Well, there's a lot of things that's been going on lately. One of the few things besides training topics, since I'll give you a scoop, and there is going to be a stream after the stream in a few hours or so to let people know. And I have talked about this thing with the Mercedes Moral death.
Mhm.
IG model slash OnlyFans model, how when I heard about it for the past few days or almost a week, that they said it was a robbery gone wrong. That was the
Mhm.
first news article. Then a few days later, I hear that it was a man that killed her in regards to so-called compassion and saying that he wanted something more than just paying her through OnlyFans or IG just to see her twerk. So,
Mhm.
and you know, a lot of men have not. Well, some men cover it, and we all know ladies aren't cover it because this is not dealing with a black man. If there's a black
Mhm.
man on it, they would love to snip on it, eat on it, and make a quick
Right.
on it. But because it's not a black man, silence.
Right.
Shh, shh. And it
Yeah.
tells me that your silence could be your detriment because you are pushing this now. You know,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't mind you push anything, but at the end, you must know what you're getting into. But if you think that you act the way you are to another group of men and think you're going to get a better result, you are sadly mistaken. These people will blink their eyes before they take you out. Like,
Yeah.
close it, you know? So, but, that is one trending thing. But I tell people, catch that stream on this channel today. Right?
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, all that. Cause I did see some people talking about that, and all that shows is how men pose a threat to women.
mhm,
Men will harm women just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? So when we act like women don't have a right to advocate for certain things on the basis of them being women, you're being dishonest. You're being intellectually dishonest and disingenuous.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's all that proves. See, like we like to talk about, women need men and all this other stuff, but we don't want to say why women need men. And the
Mhm,
bottom line is that, uh, like, if you put it back in primitive time, and I've heard like Judge Joe Brown and others make these arguments about, like wild beasts and wild animals, posing
mhm,
a threat. But the bottom line is that if a woman in the bush is at greater risk of being hit over the head and assaulted sexually than she is by being attacked by some wild animal. So what makes men necessary for women is other men. But see, you don't want to say that, because then if you say that, then you have to say, well, the problem is men. You know what I'm saying? You
mhm.
don't want to have to say that.
I know.
So that's just what it is. Like, you look, the majority of murders are committed by men. The majority of robberies, the majority of crime, violent crime, are committed by men. And so if you have an environment where there isn't some checks and balances on masculinity and testosterone, then it can pose a problem and a risk to women and children. This is why men are the one who create laws and execute those laws. That's
Yeah.
why. So
Yeah.
women need men because of other men,
Mhm,
but we don't want to talk about that. We don't want
mhm,
to have an honest conversation and dialogue about that fact.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? That's all that shows. That's not
mhm,
proven. Because I even saw one person, and you have to look at how, and I've talked about that before, how callous the society has become. Like, if you look at people, like, people talk about the Bible, but then why is everything in the Bible coming is happening? You know what I mean?
mhm.
Because, like, even in the Bible it says, and not to get religious or spiritual, I'm just saying, but it says that perilous times shall come, when men shall be lovers of their own selves, proud, boasters, covetous,
Mhm.
unmerciful, implacable, without natural affection. You know what I'm saying? And when you
Yeah.
look at the society, that's exactly what's happening. People, because I saw one guy make a statement, like, making light of what happened to her, and you don't know that lady, like, you know what I mean? How can
Mhm.
you not see? In our sense of morality, our sense of right and wrong is, it comes from our empathy, from our sense of empathy. and sympathy, being able to empathize and sympathize with others and be like, man, what if I was in that situation?
Mm-hmm.
But now what you have in today's society, because of social media and and just Western society and where it is, people have become totally careless. They become totally careless. And so they'll take these stories, like this high profile story of this Instagram model, and they'll make these posts and statements as if somehow because she was an Instagram model, she deserved that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you wonder why there's a feminist movement.
Mm-hmm.
Because what it is, like I said, you lack the moral turpitude and clarity to execute justice, but running your mouth talking about you want to lead. You know what I'm saying? Running your mouth, and that's what I told you. I said, well, say that next time one of y'all gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
Say, because he made some reference talking about winter is coming. Say that, the next time one of y'all gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like you see these guys talk about women living off the government and all that, but they ignore that the government is something that's precipitated by men. Going back to my earlier point, how women need men to protect them from other men. What it is they want these women in such economically deprived states that they can take advantage of them. This obsession they have with submission, and that's all where that shit comes from. They believe that because they're a man and she's a woman, they're supposed to be able to take advantage of this woman. And if the woman don't let you take advantage of her, then she's being masculine. That's what these niggas believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to say it, because I already understand that what's understood don't need to be explained. Your speech portrays the show. So it's not about executing justice and doing what's right. You know what I mean? But these niggas, they don't want to lead for the right reasons. They want to be in leadership, so they can abuse it and take advantage of these women. Man, that's what you really mean when you say winter is coming. But then when the child support people get on your motherfucking ass, don't you keep that same attitude, keep that same energy, Jack Frost. You know what I'm saying? Keep that same energy. Pay your fucking child support. I don't want to hear about how it's tearing your ass up. You know what I'm saying? So don't try and hold these women to a standard that you can't hold yourself, that you can't live up to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, and you look at it, that's like I said, this is a cynical approach to take. And then we'll elevate these people as if what they're saying is somehow going to cure what ails that's not. Because you look at where it's coming from. Like you look at where it's coming from. A lot of these guys feel slighted and cheated because they nostalgize a time period when men's just inherent social positioning over women was the norm, was the lay of the land. Mm-hmm. And now, because of women's rights and these different things, it's not like that anymore. But that's the way it's supposed to be. If you know anything about the idea that women don't have certain human rights, they really don't believe that. But now you let the LGBT community gain absolute power in this society, power over the institutions, power over the apparatuses, power over the jobs and all this other stuff. And then these groups of people start telling you, well, yeah, you could have this job, but I mean, you're gonna have to take it in your ass a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And some
you're gonna have to
ass.
And if you don't do it, then winter gonna come. You're gonna have to face winter. Mm-hmm. I mean, what you willing to do for this job? Shit, you gonna suck a dick? Like they think, because see, everything is, and that's why even that time I was debating Ed Anderson's stupid ass, and I was telling him how it all breaks down to sex. It's all sexual politics. Mm-hmm. All human interaction is based on sex. They're not taking their positions on anything moral. That's what I've been saying. They're not taking their positions on anything moral. They're taking their positions based on the fact that they view women as their sex supply. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I even seen them talking about this many men as virgins compared to this many women. So what? Like, these women not obligated to sleep with your motherfucking ass. You know what I'm saying? These women are obligated to sleep with you. See, so and the reason why they're saying that because they're saying that as if that's somehow an indictment or something. But that's the way nature intended it. You know what I'm saying? Nature intended it that way. That's the female's prowess is in the sexuality, and that's why they've always had some level of quasi control and power in society because of that. That's what I was telling Ed Anderson. But because that was making his philosophy and his guiding views on the world um, problematic, he had to abandon that at that point. See, like even like this is the whole thing, like the whole thing with the gynocracy, and that's what I'm saying. They feel somehow as if they're being slighted or they're disempowered, or you know what I mean? Because you have laws on the books that protects the rights of women as women. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's not this isn't anything moral with these people, and that's why I don't want to hear it because it's not they're not coming from deeply principled and moral positions. These niggas are coming solely from what's convenient for them, and based off the fact that they think women just exist just to be their cockles. That's it. It's nothing like nothing else. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not about a sense of right and wrong. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
they make those arguments, but the reason why they're able to make those arguments is because they don't know what it's like to be on the other side of that. You see what I mean? To exist in a society as a as a as a woman where your body is currency. Like when a woman when a woman gives birth, what do we call that?
We call that damn, I don't know what they call it. Shit.
They call it they say she went into labor.
Oh, okay.
They
Okay.
say she's in labor.
Okay.
So it's all labor. It's
Work.
all work.
Work.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, work. Okay.
You see
Makes
what I'm
sense.
saying? That's that's what that is. So a lot of the times when they're saying the things that they're saying, they're not saying it because they believe in a certain ethic and they believe in what's right and wrong. They're saying it because what's convenient for them, and the fact that they think women exist to be their sex supply. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's like you don't have the moral compass or moral turpitude to lead nothing, man. That's why they're in the position they're in. See,
And you know,
powerless men feel no sense of social responsibility.
mm-hmm.
So I'm saying social responsibility comes from the weight of executing and exercising power. So these men, and the only power that they have is the power of running their motherfucking mouth. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of anything else on a real, tangible, quantifiable level, they're powerless, and that's why they have no sense of social responsibility to make the responsibility of making the society a better place, a safer place for everybody.
Mm-hmm. 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 You know, it's funny. Cause I was looking through some other posts and community tabs, and it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read it. It's by one content creator, and she predicts in the next decade or 15 years, most modern American women will support polygamy with rich men, and asking, do people agree or disagree? And out of her poll, it looks to me that more than 79% of the people, and I think only 20 people gave their take, say yes, women will not lower their standards to average men, and the other 12% is no, that's crazy. No woman should have to share her man. Well, my thing is this, because we look at the population and the average numbers, it's not really possible or logical at the end of the day. You get me? so they could think and believe that. Um, and I appreciate the sister creating a poll. And I think men gave the answer, but we all know saying there's.
Who was the person that made the poll?
Well, I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to
Oh,
give names to consecrate. I'll put in the back chat, but
okay.
my thing that we all know that women want the best. Okay, that's fine. But what do you want to do to get the best? When the question asks, there's crickets. And I'm saying,
Right.
and I remember you did some posts about I think something with Bible, some Amiri. I gotta go back and look at it again. That without works, it's dead. If you
Right.
think you're gonna sit on your ass, pray and hope and create incantations, this chanting nonsense to get what you want, you're living a fairy tale. You're out of touch of reality. You're delusional. Most of that get what they want, they get their ass up and do what's necessary.
Right.
We all know women could think and believe this. And I'm saying the only reason you can think and believe is because you live in a system that caters and still gives you some form of comfort for now. But outside America, third world countries, there is no comfort or safety net. Either you act right or you get left behind. You know?
Right.
So, like I said, it's good that some women could think and believe that, and cold hard waste their time on that. But at the end of the day, it proves the fact that when we say that most dudes they have not understand how to be so-called fathers, majority of women don't know how to be mothers or wives. You get me?
Yeah. I to be honest with you, I don't even. It's not even that. Like
Uh-huh.
I still think people fail to grasp. You know what the major issue is. The major issue is that the home is no longer the prime socializer of children. And the
Yes.
reason being is because of mass media, social media, mass media. You have all these other outlets of information. And then if you look at this, the anti-family, anti-traditional uh, disposition of the society,
Mm-hmm.
then you understand what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like with that. You know, the prime role model for children is no longer the parents anyway. It's
Yeah.
celebrity. It's those who are who we call influencers. They
Mm-hmm.
hold more influence over the children than the parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, if what I'm saying isn't true, then why you running your mouth about an alphabet agenda? You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Why you talking about an alphabet agenda then? If what I'm saying isn't true, you see what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's coming from the society. It's coming from the society itself. The society itself isn't reinforcing the values, mores, and things that you're trying to teach your children. The society is undermining it and giving them a counter message.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and what it is society doesn't want to bear the burden of the monsters it creates. See, society is greatly implicated in the creation of its monsters, like Jeffrey Dahmer. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Society is greatly implicated, but it doesn't want to bear that burden and that weight and that responsibility. So it passes the buck.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so it's like, well, you should monitor what your children watch, but the problem is because mass media has gotten to such a point that even if you do that,
Mm-hmm.
the children are still want to get that information because it's everywhere. I mean, it's literally everywhere. So
Yeah.
if you try and shield them from it, or you don't let them listen to it or watch it at home, they're going to be out somewhere in the society and still going to be exposed to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have somebody who does let their kids listen to it, and their kids will introduce it to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So it doesn't like you know what I mean. It's just like my oldest son. My oldest son, he got this thing where he want to smoke weed. He didn't get that. He didn't get that shit from me. He ain't never seen me. You know, it's like that old commercial back in the '80s when he was like, "Where did you get this from?" Remember that? And the boy was smoking pot, and the dad came in the room and he was like, "Where did you get this from? Where did you get it?" And then the boy was like, "I learned it by watching you. All right, that ain't the truth." That's what I'm saying. Like okay. He didn't get that from me, man. So I know where he got it. He got it from the general. He got it from his friends, his peers, the society.
The society. Yeah.
In a society, what's happened in a society? Weed has become legalized. It's become more mainstream. It's become more of the norm. See what I'm saying? So you didn't get that from me. It's just like with anything else. It's just like I would notice when my daughters were young, and I would go shopping for them. I would notice I would be hard pressed to find them good, decent clothes that didn't make them look like little hoes. You know what I'm saying? Like with the little short. Like I remember, like it was this thing where you would go to like the toddler section or the young teenage section, and they would have clothes with phrases written over the ass.
Wow, I did not know that.
See, so even then, you see what I'm saying? So even then, like it's all coming from the motherfucking society, man. The society itself. I don't make clothes. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's the reason why we call it. What do we call it? We call it branding. So if you go get like a Ralph Lauren polo shirt, you got to pay. You're paying for that brand. You're paying for that name, that brand. You see, so that influence goes a long way, and children are no longer parents are no longer the main role models for children. And social scientists and all of them can say whatever the fuck they want, but it's the reason why they pay these celebrities and shit millions of dollars for advertising. See, I don't have no multi-million-dollar advertising fucking deal. See what I'm saying? The regular, every run in the middle of the day parent doesn't have a ad endorsement with Nike.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the celebrities, and that's why when you look at these celebrities, these celebrities be some freaks. A lot of them be mentally disturbed and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so this is who they peddle and who they push on the society, man. You look at Lil Nas X. It's the reason why they was bringing Lil Nas X around to the fucking schools and shit. Before it came out, he was on that alphabet shit. You know what I'm saying?
I heard rumor that he's pregnant.
Hey, that's him doing like that's marketing. See what I'm talking about with the marketing? That's marketing. Because he's saying he's pregnant with his next album, so that's marketing. It's like controversial to get people talking, to build up interest and momentum for his album, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is who society pushes on people. This is who they push on the society, and you can't combat with that. You can't compete with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why when I it's even the people in my peers, like in my peer group, and like I know already because I look and I'm like, man, these people like children to me. They think like my kids. That's what I'm saying. You got 50-year-old fucking men running around here, and all they have to talk about is dating. You know what I'm saying? These 50-year-olds, these are middle-aged fucking men, man. These are men who are considered senior citizens, dude.
Yeah.
And they sitting there talking about dating as if they in their 20s or their 30s. That's part of that social de-evolution, man. Like we're devolving socially. Socially, we're devolving. We're going backwards. We're regressing.
Well, my thing with that is like, you know, when a man reaches a certain, I guess, economic status, he does in his thinking, depending on what age he achieves this, he has to start from scratch again. And I'll say now I'm putting myself in this market now as something of value now because now say I got the money, I can control you, bitch. Like that type of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
pick it. Well, yeah, women money is important, yes, but also women make their money too now. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So what bargaining? Even if you make more, hell, they'll take that and they'll take more of yours. You get me? Because laws are put in place for them anyway. So brag them up. You got this. That's cool. You just make yourself nice little target for to get that bag easy and take that bag easy without
Mm-hmm.
any serious paperwork. And another thing, because I'm talking about this, and I know it's a lot of people are getting caught up between the PJ Tucker, Brittany, and the Lamelo Ball. And this I forgot this other chick, this other 30-something. And lets me think that it's amazing, fellas, that women at the end of the day, as they get older, if they can't get the man if they want, they're just gonna go down younger, and parasite over them. Could it easily parasite over young dudes? Could it say, "Wow, I'm getting sex constantly from an older woman," because they know how to play with the psychology of young boys that will become men. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not sure how much you teach your son enough, Mary, about the possibilities. Now, if you put yourself out here in the streets, you're gonna be depending how you look and how you carry yourself. You're gonna attract certain ladies, and certain ladies.
Yeah.
The more you build yourself, the more you're gonna be a commodity for not just younger women, but also old women. And old
Right.
women because they're experienced now that they can get and swindle you and play with your not only emotions but your psychology, so that they can sit there put you in a trap or what do you call it? A nice little booby trap. So once they
Mm-hmm.
got you, you know.
Yeah.
So I think when we find these stories, and let's be honest, guys, these are celebrities. So these are people that we don't waste time talk about. Well, we could emphasize for the purpose of this conversation that you have to be involved enough to your son's life so he limit his chance of fuck ups. You get me? Because let's be honest, they're not being schooled not only in game but the way of life. They come in this world, figure things out, and in doing so, you're gonna get a lot of bumps figuring this shit out. And some bumps at the end of the day, can you afford or you cannot afford? That's the
Mm-hmm.
question you should be asking. Because
Right.
you gonna bump, you're gonna fall and hurt yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
going through this journey, you want to mitigate how harmful the fall is going to be. That's it.
Right.
So that's my take.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I said, um, just bring that to the point that we need to be more involved. And I think with enough men, if they have children, you have to play that role as best as possible. You get me? Because these children that are young adults now, they're gonna go in here blind. You know what I'm saying? For any situation. And the size that can coddle you, they're gonna slap you with the wrist. They're gonna punch you in the face. Let you know what I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
where you stand, where your place is. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And I don't want no man to start getting on that reality. And here's my thing. When young black men act the way they do in front of other groups of men and they get their serious wake up call, is because they think and they believe that they're like just like the women in the society. That there's not gonna be no consequence. Basically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And mind you, boys can't operate like that because you only get one shot. And if they get you, it could be a wrap. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Yeah.
get no do-overs. And here's my thing, Mary. When they talk about the criminality of genders, especially women, yes, women do commit criminality, but this how the system's designed is not designed to lock up women. They're here to get men. Because men are more the commodities. Hell, why do you
Yeah.
think slavery lasts so long it did, even though there's still slavery in other parts of the world? Who they really enslaved and put in prisons? Man,
Mm-hmm.
cause what labor can you get from women when you lock her up? Nothing.
Yeah.
Hell, some
Yeah.
can't even do certain harsh works if needed. So you think is it feasible economic wise to be locking up women knowing they do the same crimes as men? No. So anytime when
Yeah.
they hear stories like this, they always want to say, "Okay, I get it," but who's the real mastermind? Where's the man? They're always trying to point at they need the man. You ever notice that?
Right.
Because they need that labor, not just the
Hmm.
body, but the labor. So I
Yeah.
want you just to think critically on that. You get me?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to say or expound on that, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I get, yeah, like I understand that, you know. See, because a woman can get more with being passive than she can by being aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for men, it's vice versa. You know what I mean? He gets more being aggressive than he does being passive. You know, so that's just how like it. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a double edged sword. You know what I'm saying? When you start talking about like the breakdown with crime and gender and stuff like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but really the only reason why I was saying that stuff is because I just wanted to touch uh, on how callous people are. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they'll take that story with that young lady and they'll use that to further them, you know, their message or their talking points.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but at the end of the day, that's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's sister, that's somebody, you know, somebody family member, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
I,
saying?
I'll say this because she was killed in her home by this man, and then the man
Mm.
allegedly, well, he did. They say he committed suicide, and the father kicked down the door when he found him stabbed up. From what they say, from what I'm hearing, I cold-hearted believe that the father killed him, and they said this
Who
man is
killed him?
the father that killed his daughter, Mercedes.
Oh, oh, okay.
Well, you see how the story is unfolding, how they want to lay it out and let the public know, it because I'm be honest with you, Mary, this is not a black man; it's a white man who did this. You get me?
Yeah, no,
And
I saw it. Yeah.
they're not going to go harsh or in depth with this man because let's be honest, the media protects their own, what they will demonize
Mm.
you. This is how the game plays. That's why you never see them go harsh and demonize non-black men when they killing either this mixed or black woman. Allegedly, I
Right.
don't know if she's mixed, but let's say she's ethnically ambiguous. Yeah, they're not going to really put that out there like that, especially if she's known throughout the public through social media, IG, OnlyFans. They can't have that, you know.
Yeah.
They definitely cannot
Yeah.
have that. I done before billionaires. The link's in the bottom if you want to join. So they can have that there. So what they do is they gonna say, well, this man had a criminal record. He was found in a traffic stop, and we all know traffic stop tickets are not criminality.
Right. Right.
But I'm not sure why people didn't pay attention to that. They tell you such
Mm.
they're really protecting this dude because they don't want to show white criminality at its best.
Mm.
They're trying to
Mm.
give it and try to give this person some type of what's the word? Some no, I'm
What,
saying praise.
pass?
What do you call it?
A pass?
Somewhat, somewhat.
Mm.
Not past, but they say that he was bad. He did something was bad. Let's move forward. You get me? They won't say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, this man is this bad. He is a criminal. He's this. He's an evil. He is." You know how they would say if it was a black man, they would use every word out the dictionary to label him as a
Right.
terrorist. That they can't do this with this dude. Oh no, they can't do it at
Mm-hmm.
that. Oh no, because other white people watch this and they say, "What? Look what Fox or some said about this man killing this so-called tot whore." You know what I'm saying? How dare you? You know?
Mm.
So they're very
Right.
smart in their language. So, like I said, we will know more in time as they go more into the investigation. I believe, and this is me, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I'll keep that a secret because, like I said, I have my upload stream on that. So y'all got to look out for that. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you'll hear my real take on it. But more moving forward, I want to know your take, and let me mark this. I want to know your take on now the influx of Afghanistan people by the hundreds of thousands now that the war's over. What's your take on that?
I mean, where they coming? They coming here?
Yes, they are here, probably here already. People from Afghanistan. I remember I saw a little video of them jumping and holding onto planes while it's taking off because the war is now officially over a few days ago, and they're already
Okay.
probably here already. You get me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I don't, I have no real thoughts about it one way or the other. I don't even care. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even been paying attention. I've been in my own little world, just dealing with what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really offer a lot of commentary on that because I haven't been paying attention to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. The reason why I brought it up because people did talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, the news. Well, certain articles probably covered it. They didn't really talk much about it, but my thing is this: when people talk about reparations, this is a clear-cut example of them giving reparations to the people of Afghanistan for 20 years of war. You get me?
Right,
After they said allegedly they bombed us, mind you,
right.
and we're now almost in the next couple. I think this week, I believe maybe, it's gonna be 20 years since September 11th.
Right.
So isn't it a coincidence they started to really end this war 20 years later? At the same time they
Mm-hmm.
started? I find that very ironic. You know? So this was
Yeah.
really planned from the start that they were going to go. Now, mind you, in my opinion, the next war they ever going to go in, and which will eventually be another war. I'm not sure it'll be World War III or whatever. That it's going to probably be not a lengthy war. I give it a couple years at best. They're not going to do
Right.
20 years. They're not going to do another 20-year war. That's over with. People think that the
Mm-hmm.
next war is going to be good 20s. No, that's a lie. The next war in the future, in this human civilization, it's going to be less than that. You know what I'm saying? It might be a
Right.
couple years, and I think it might be the biggest of all wars. You get me? And I don't want to put no
Mm-hmm.
fear or scare on people, but if they wrote in books about this, that they were going to do this, you get me?
Yeah.
There's wait for the right time, right situation, and the right plot. Hell, they could use this virus as a declaration of war, which I got understanding of during the conversation on Clubhouse. You know, and I said
Right.
to the person personally that what has accumulated throughout the last year, going on and a half now, that all that has happened and messed up the world as is today, and which eventually is going to go back to normal, that they could use this as a declaration of the third war,
Right.
you know, against possibly Asia. You get me?
Yeah.
Because think about it. How people were convinced to go war 20 years ago now. They said these people came in and killed Americans through World Trade Center, right? And all of a
Right.
sudden they said, and mind you, here's the funny thing. It was Republican president that declared war. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I know. They talking about
It
Bush,
was
right?
it was George Bush Jr. So imagine the next time it's gonna be not gonna be no Democrat. It's gonna possibly another Republican.
Well, it doesn't. It really
But it
doesn't
really
matter.
matter.
Both of
It
them.
doesn't really matter. To be honest with you, yeah, I know it doesn't really matter. But how much
Yeah.
people think about that? Marinate on that.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. That was for big business interests. You know,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
they use America's military might as their muscle. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
To go into these foreign markets and take over and
yeah,
rob, rape, and pillage. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like if you look at it, that's one thing we do know from the war in Afghanistan. It's the reason why it's. I mean, we saw this take place in the '80s with Ronald Reagan in the Iran Contra scandal. So it's not like what I'm saying is beyond the pale. But when they went to Afghanistan, they took over the poppy seed, and consequently and coincidentally, you've had a opioid epidemic in white America.
yeah.
You see,
That they still can't recover. That is
that's
still
not
can't.
that's not a coincidence. See, part of what the Taliban was doing was they were restricting the production of heroin because they had control of the poppy fields
Mm-hmm.
in Afghanistan. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So America went over there, took over, occupied it, and as a result, the heroin use and uh, supply spiked in America.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
But
there,
it makes
there you go.
me wonder how much of a zombies they made for the last almost 40 years with heroin alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it. They said when how Negroes not doing well in this country, especially ADOS, which I had to question that. But look at the Caucasian himself. How a lot of them, their children are on drugs like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they had to put programs in place just to not punish them, but to sit there to cater to their addictions.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? If your people are on drugs, you're in trouble. It's the same game that was played with the Asians back in the days of the 1800s. Remember with tea in China?
Yeah.
And you know when the president, I'm not sure it was the president of the 20th century came in and said that you listen, if you're found with this drug, you were gonna be killed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure it was Xi Jinping was one of them or some other president. I could be wrong. But you see how they treat and deal with the people that will not get straight, correct themselves.
Right.
It is rough, but it is what it is to sustain the nation. And I don't think America is not nowhere close to doing the same aggressive tactics that's done in the East. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why, because this is a war country. It's a very much violent country where people have weapons and stuff. So to sit there and try to mention that same thing, I mean, there are more Caucasian bodies that have weapons that will take the risk with this nation, fortunately. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like Asia where it's more of a dictatorship where, you know, some people don't have no choice. You know?
Mm-hmm.
They got real control of their people, not only mentally, but physically, but spiritually too, and economically. You know, not over
Right.
here. Can't get that with these Caucasians. Oh, if they don't get
Mm-hmm.
their way, they turn to violence.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they will choose violence first before anything else.
Right. Yeah.
Especially the lower level ones, the ones they call the Pookie and Ray Ray of their kind.
Mm-hmm.
They said,
Mm-hmm.
"You ain't gonna take my gun." You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So you're dealing with some real aggressive killers. You know, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
that just don't give a fuck. They will do you something in a second. So yeah, so I just want to lay that out. But
Yeah.
yeah, but like I said, how things are arriving now, and we're not near the end of this year yet, is very interesting. It's telling, you know. I think from them looking forward is to make sure all the agendas are laid out. How you doing, the Village Arsenal TV? What's good? The links in the description. I mean, links there if you want to come up to give your take. Um, my thing is that I want our people to be more prepared than anything else, and stop with the foolishness. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we should be more proactive than reaction. I mean, I haven't seen much reaction yet, but we all know when things get really fishy. Even now, if you think about it, Amir, because I know you don't have a building yet where you're renting yet, but look at how
Mm-hmm.
many people are now being evicted now. You hear the stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see how people now are homeless? And they say in Georgia right in Atlanta that there's a lot of homeless people, especially men, right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you drive by and you see like them like homeless is like on the streets like that. I don't know if you witnessed it. Have you seen it?
No, I be seeing them. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. We could potentially be looking at another housing crisis. You know.
You think there's gonna be another bubble where the bubble's gonna break again?
I mean, probably. That's what some people are saying.
I think the bubble now that happened back 13 years ago is gonna be much worse if it does come to it very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, no one could pay their rent, and some people didn't even make an effort to pay some of the rent for a whole 18 months, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That is crazy. how the fuck you as a male, or especially if you're a woman, especially woman, you sitting there don't want to make a tip pay nothing for free, like you did for free.
Right.
That's irresponsible as a man. Now we know that man, if he doesn't do anything, he's gonna be put out. No ifs buts. But when women gonna be put out with children, the state, this country will allow it. They're not gonna do it in mass, but they will start kicking out people because they can't keep funding this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wait, I see somebody in the bottom. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, man? Real quick, I'm kind of driving down the road, so don't mind the noise. But I kind of recognize you from a lot of BGS's panels, so salute to you, man. But I wanted to jump up here and ask you, man, what's your take on brother BGS's opinion that Dell Curry should just shut up and just pay his wife the whatever alimony or whatever and just move on? Like, what's your take on that?
I'm gonna let Amari answer that because Mary's married for a long time. Mary, I know you've been following that. What's your answer to that? Before I get my answer,
I think I mean, I haven't heard exactly what is the context, but I agree with the general sentiment. You know what I mean? It's no use crying over spilled milk, and then not only that, I would just look at it from the vantage point. Well, it was a good run. Have fun with my sloppy seconds. I done wrecked that. You know what I'm saying? I done wrecked that several times over, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can have her.
Okay, but is he obligated to do this even though she broke the contract? She breached the contract. She committed adultery. She cheated on her husband. So I don't understand.
Well, I mean,
I don't give a damn. We've been married 20 years. If you cheat on me and you're 19, do I owe you a damn dime if we divorce?
right. Yeah. So you're looking at the alimony part. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I haven't really been following it, but I would say this: at the end of the day, I would just look at it as the cost of doing business. Like now, if he's got, I don't know what it would take for him to fight it or what the agreement is or whatever. You know what I mean? Because they're probably in California, and I know California has some rough.
No, I actually, I think they're in North Carolina. Am I right? Arsonists.
So they're in North Carolina.
I think they did get married in North Carolina. I don't think they got married in California. So I think that's
Are they still living in North Carolina? Because wherever you're married, you're still bound by that state you got married by their laws.
I'm not sure where they reside right now. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, well, let me give you my answer. I did talk about this. I didn't do no content on this. And the reason why, because when I look at the outcomes of this 33-year marriage, I said this personally when I did the breakdown of how to solve the divorce problem in America. And like I said, he fulfilled as long as he can during this marriage till all his children are grown, and he exceeded beyond 20 years. Now, like everything, when you deal with business or retirement, people are going to be cashing out. It is what it is. Now, me, if she cheated and depending on how long she's been cheating and this man did not take action, arsonist, that's a stain on him. Because let's be honest, if you gone behind the marriage, like literally, and your husband find out, then by all means, you should have ended the marriage and don't give her no alimony because she won't qualify it. You get me? But he knew this for a while and they kept her around up to the point where he decides to pull the plug. But remember, he filed for divorce. You get me?
Oh, so he the one who filed for divorce?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know he already knew about the guy though. I thought he just found out about the guy. So he already knew about this guy?
Well, the rumor is that she been messing around and probably might not been the first time, from what I'm hearing. Now, right now, Dell Curry is the only person that was revealing this and said that his wife was having an affair with this so-called long-term friend that was white, that's a millionaire himself. So now she potentially, depending on the laws of a marriage, and you've been in it for more than 20 years, you are entitled to some alimony until you get married. But like I said, every law in every state is different, arsonists. So I don't know what the laws in regards to alimony and divorce, But if people really just do a background check and check the laws, you know where she stands or what she can gain from being in this 33-year marriage. If we don't know that, it's hard to really give more deep context, regardless if she was cheating or not, because we gotta know what is she entitled, because she's been this for almost 3 decades. You get me?
What's Dale Curry net worth? Anybody know?
I think his net worth is $12 million. Let's double check. But as I check, what's good, Alonzo Hall? Curry.
Okay, so is BGS's stance based? I'm just asking for the clarification. Is his stance basically Dale Curry should just you've been married to her for a while, get rid of the headache, just pay it off and go on about your business, or is BGS on some, taking up for Sonya Curry? I just kind of think I think Brother BGS is kind of like Sonya. I'm just gonna be real. I think he's got a little crush going on.
I mean, my take with the elder,
and I can't blame him. She's a beautiful woman, but I'm just trying to understand his. He got a lot of pushback for that video, and hey, I can disagree with somebody and still respect him, but I'm just trying to understand where he's coming from. He's just basically like, Dale Curry should just shut up and pay, and I'm like, but this woman cheated on. She breached the contract.
But
so I mean, from where you were talking about business. In business, you breach a contract, you're not obligated to anything in that contract.
It's correct. Arsonist, there is some rules of engagement on breach of contract during business, and it happens all the time. And I'm not sure if you want to elaborate more, because you're in the world of insurance and finance. I don't know if you want to go on this, but I will say this: like anything, do business, you, like Amiri said, you got to cut your losses. This man's net worth right now is $8 million. So I'm not sure what the loss he's going to split up. I'm hoping that it's not some too damaging in the long term. He might have to negotiate how the alimony is going to be done. But like everything, if everything is arranged like it should be, because like most men that get married, they're prepared, which I doubt, I could be wrong, you might going to lose a lot, depending on the laws in North Carolina and how alimony works. So that's
he has to do it. What I'm saying is he has to do a cost benefit analysis, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be the cost? Is it more costly to fight it, or is it more costly just to pay and get rid of the headache?
That's it.
So that's what I'm saying. So if it's more advantageous in the long run to just pay her and get it over with, then you just look at it as the cost of doing business. You know what I mean?
So is that where BGS is coming from? Because that's a lot more logical. I can roll with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard the video. I'm just saying. But if he's coming from that vantage point, then yeah, I wouldn't even be like, emotional about it, because at this point there's no good options. You know what I mean? The situation is what it is, and then that's news to me too, where apparently he already knew about this guy, and like, you know what I mean? So who knows what they had going on? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what he's gonna have to do. Like, is it going to cost me more in the long run to fight it, or is it just more beneficial to me financially just to go ahead and pay it and get it over with and get rid of the headache?
Mm-hmm. And one thing, Arsonist, because I know you're very passionate about this, and a lot of people were, I guess, in the comments section cussing BGS about this, and I agree. But my thing is, like everything, as a man that makes money and he's taking this journey of taking on a wife and kids, you always gotta know what you're getting into. You know what I'm saying? Only thing you do is you gotta protect yourself as best as possible. But like I said this, I'm gonna say this again for people so they don't take my words real seriously. If you feel that someone has breached this contract and they are caught and know they're in infidelity, is in your rightful duty. I don't give a fuck if we have 2 or 3 or 4 fucking kids. You should end that marriage as soon as possible, because by doing so, you're setting a precedent that say not only you did harm into this relationship, but also show shame on me and his family. And for me to continue to have you around and notice you already gave your body and time to another man is disrespect alone. But when a man doesn't do that and he stays because of the children, you hurt yourself in the long run. So that's why when BJ said that should pay off, he should just cut his loss, pay up, and shut up. That's the only solution moving forward. Because think about it, a net worth of $8 million. I'm be honest with you, bro. I wouldn't waste my time fighting at this point after 33 years. To stay in it, as long as he stayed in it and did not make a move, that time he's complacent. He's fine with it until it got to the point where enough is enough. And I'll say this to any black man. Don't think and operate like that. If this woman or this bitch cheat on you and you married her, fuck what you heard. You end the marriage. Either you take 50-50 custody, wherever, you do what's necessary. But your respect is all that's needed at the end of the day. Don't be around no fucking bitch that will sit there, be nice, cool with you, and behind closed doors suck it and fuck another man behind your back. Because disrespectful is an insult. Especially if you have never cheated yet. Don't do that. And let me tell you, a lot of women are anticipating this because they think that you're going to have a lot to lose. I'm going to say, fuck that. I will cut my laws before staying around with an ungrateful bitch that will fucking do that. That's it. I'm done. Alonzo, you ready? He still has mic ready. I hope I answered.
Man, I can respect that perspective. I don't want to take up too much time on the panel, man. I just want to get up here get some clarification on that, because I like to try to get the clarification from a good source. And you seem like somebody that's really familiar with his content. I like his content, but I seem like you're really familiar with him. So just want to get some clarification on his perspective. That's a logical perspective. I can agree with that. Country losses. I can agree with that. That's logical.
But here's a more deeper question. Have you asked BGS personally? Because he sometimes opens his channel and he, people ask questions, he'll give you his take on it. You get me? I don't mind ask other brothers. And because it's very touchy, because we find that as men, how son your wife is fucking behind your back and you've been married for decades and now you're divorcing her and she's asking for so much or asking for something. She shouldn't get nothing on. And I agree, she should not get shit. But how the rules and contract and how things play out. And let's be honest, the story, what they want us to know, they're not really telling everything. They're giving us a snippet until the divorce is settled. We'll know everything. Hell, Dell Curry might write a book on this, which could make him a lot of money. Hell, Sonya can make I don't know if it's wise to write a book of it because it shows a little Jezebel ways, but that's another story. Then they can write a book and make extra money. The point is this. If you're in a marriage, and you as a man, and you stay in it, knowing your wife cheat behind your back, you're complacent and you accept her cheating. Just like she accept anyone else cheating behind her and she accepted, that's on her. So like I say, person as brother, that's on you, bro. As me and man, I won't ever accept no woman that cheats on me. Oh, hell no. I don't give a fuck if I have 3-4 kids off this bitch. I will cut my ties and keep pushing. I will do the co-parent, all that bullshit. And I know people say they don't like it because that's going to be expensive, but like I said, your self-respect as a motherfucking man is more important than anything else. And other women will know and they'll respect it. And the reason why black men don't get respect is because we're not willing to do what's necessary to say, walk away from this bitch. She feels that she has all the powers beside. That's why she's anticipating that you're going to stay for the long haul, deal with the abuse, deal with all the fuckery, and then she's good. Hell, you could deal with her getting fat and not saying nothing about it. Because she feels that, what are you going to do? You're going to divorce me? You afraid you're going to lose something? Oh, you're going to afraid that I might take the kids? Because she used that as a weapon towards you because she feels you don't have no manual to fight and say, fuck that, I'm either going to fight and I'm just going to cut my loss. That's where standards has to come into play at the end of the day. And I think a lot of black men, the young black men are going to get this. I'm not sure about anyone else that's older now, but I tell you, the young black men, because they're more wise than anything else, they're not going to put up with the shit that our fathers or grandparents put up. They're going to be very firm. If they don't get their way, they're not going to deal with you at all. At all. Anything less than the standard that a man should uphold dealing with this woman, and as less than subpar, it's on him at the end of the day. And a lot of women, let's be honest, they anticipate, they're hoping. That's why if you listen earlier about the Britney Renners or the same with LaMelo Ball or even these celebrities, we'll be using it as an example. And these are examples, mind you, arsonists. That it shows that these women don't have it all together like they think they do. You hit the wall. And now you go entertain young dudes that got money. Why? Because you can't run that manipulation game somewhere on older men. And it's gonna come to the point that your best bet now is fuck around a dude that don't got nothing at all, so you can mess him up. They're very good at manipulating to get their way they want, arsonists. And as a man, you always got to anticipate and pay attention to manipulation and shut it down right off the bat.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that one. Hey, man, I really appreciate that clarification. I've been really busy, so I haven't had a chance to jump on any of his panels. I just, when I'm rolling down the road, I'll listen in, but I can't really engage in a deep discussion like that while I'm rolling down the road. So, but anyway, hey, man, I really appreciate it. And I'm subscribed to your channel, man. Good content, man. I'll holler at you guys later, man. You guys be safe out there.
Take care, Arsenals. Take care. Yeah. Whew. That was interesting. That was good. I'm not sure if you're ready. Alonzo, I don't know if you falling asleep, bro.
You know, I've been sitting here talking this whole time, and I keep going, and I'm like, why ain't they responding? And didn't realize that I was on mute.
Oh, damn, bro. So you've been talking for the last 7-8 minutes?
I've been like, yo, okay, and why ain't y'all don't hear me? Okay, maybe, all right. Well,
you know, I could have did something with your mic to open it up, but I leave that to the people to open up unless it's necessary, emergency. I don't just do that. So that's why I was hoping that you're listening. So, but anyway, start from the beginning if you could clarify or remember what you want to say throughout the whole little conversation, what I was saying.
sure. So we were actually talking about the contract and the contractual portion of the marriage and the divorce.
Yeah.
And so with contracts, that's actually very interesting because things like life insurance are a contract as well. And that contract is very similar to a marriage contract, and that it's something called aleatory. Now, I am not an attorney, so this is not legal advice, and I believe the term is aleatory. But basically, there's one party that has to complete its obligation regardless. So in that term, that would be generally the husband paying alimony, because the picture of marriage is that the man provides everything for the woman, and so that with the dissolution of the marriage, she would be destitute.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, today that's not a reality. So to give somebody $300,000 a month or whatever is ridiculous. Or in Del Curry's situation, I don't know how much he's got to give him, but it should be something reasonable. Look, I have $8 million. No, you're not deserving of half. I will give you, $1 million. You can buy a house and live the rest of your life with that. See you later.
Yeah. But my thing, I don't know if you mute yourself. Okay. What is JT Coinring? Hello. Oh, how you doing, JT? The link's in the chat room if you want to jump up to this conversation. My thing, because I really been listening, a lot of people are getting very much. I'm not sure if a lot of men in the manosphere or just men in general are getting their feelings because they said this man has to pay his wife alimony because she cheated on him. And I hear back and forth say, well, they'll probably cheat because he basketball player. And I said, it's possibly true. But my thing is this, that to be in a marriage for this long, people have to submit their will, either him or her, to be in it and stand for as long as they have to the children or adults before they start to, end the ties with their relationship, And my thing is this all really is just showing of this so-called pandemic we're still under, that a lot of baby boomers and Gen Xers that were married for more than 10, 20 years are ending it because the environment is different now. You get me? And things have changed. That is clear that when people are really alone, that and they get to this point in life that there's not really much chemistry or fire in it no more. So one person's going to pull the plug. That's how I see it. And for all tests of reasons that, once you're married for over 25 or 20 more years, I mean, that is a very much successful marriage now in America. I mean, we look at now, the data shows, if we want to waste time looking at data, and I don't like to do it, that marriage, the lasting of marriage now for the last decade, maybe close to 13 or more years, last one check is like 8 years. So now people are not even people that were baby boomers that now are slowly getting divorced. They're the only generation that has a long stint marriage that pushing 30 more years. Everybody else, if you're Gen Xer and below, you're lucky to even taste 20 years into the marriage till one kid is adult.
Wow.
Your marriage doesn't last that long. And let's say the average now is 8 years. That tells you the last decade or before 20 years, some of these marriages might have been pushing close to 15 more years. So I'm just doing the math at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The math is really suffice to say, America, right now, you get married, but you're not staying it long. Now, and as time progresses, I could see that number from the longest is 8 years overall to cut down to under 5.
See, now this is a situation, actually speaking about Del Curry. You've given me an idea. I need to talk about something that I've spoken about a while ago, which is divorce insurance.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's could help you. And again, it's a way to protect yourself. So I'll definitely be doing dropping some info about that on the channel.
Okay. I can't wait to anticipate it, and depending how, if you keep it like a stream or a short upload, I will definitely have to share that. And that is the right time to have that, because we hear about insurance, a lot of things from life insurance, death insurance, car insurance, but we never heard about anything dealing with marriage in regards to insurance. You get me? And that should be really put out there, because no one in any space is talking about that. Hell, some people that are even have chance that even focus on insurance, I doubt they focus on a lot of the real technicalities in all aspects. And the reason why, because it's business, and the only thing they only focus on is thing that makes money, which is mostly insurance that's for the dead and maybe for living, if done right.
Right.
And even that, some people are not really vibrant to that, but it's still good to have regardless. You get me? But
Exactly.
now knows that you could have insurance for marriage, even better. You get me? Because let's be honest, you might have a prenup, which is something that's economically feasible, but now you could probably even protect yourself even better as a man, having that on your toolage as well. You get me?
Yeah.
So when you negotiate certain things, when the thing is about to disintegrate, the divorce, you have that. I hear some guys. Let me see what he wrote. And this is Mr. Coinring said, that's a good point. Marriage is insurance. Yeah, and the insurance mostly, let's be honest, when we're dealing with the genders, is mostly insurance for still insurance for the man. The man know what he's getting into. You get me?
Yeah.
Some women think that that marriage is a trap, this, that, third. Okay. But if a person got his head straight and his money right and got himself in a good place, I mean, he has no worry about too much loss. You get me?
Right.
He actually will mitigate his loss, especially living in the capitalist system. And this is a capitalist system, mind you, fellas. So anything in capitalism is always has been good in business. Doesn't make sense, paper-wise, money-wise, to put things in place, policies in place. Hell, I'm not sure if you focus on this to give you an ideal, Alonzo. What about insurance of babies? Like if something happens to the during giving birth, or anything of that nature. Dealing with insurance, like woman's pregnant and all that stuff.
So that would actually just be a regular life insurance that would be on the mother before, hopefully before she's pregnant, because the pregnancy could complicate the underwriting of the policy. But sometimes she could possibly find out she's pregnant through applying for life insurance.
Okay.
That's ironically enough how Magic Johnson found out he had HIV. He applied for life insurance. They took the blood and urine, came back, he had HIV, and he retired from basketball. Now he owns a life insurance company called Equitrust. But no, not directly for babies. But here's a cool thing. The reason they don't do, well, not a cool thing, but here's a dynamic thing. The reason they don't put life insurance on babies for during immediate childbirth is because, or for the first 14 days of their life, is because of a condition called SIDS, SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
Okay.
So because of that, it's a condition where babies will sometimes just die within 14 days of exiting the womb.
Okay.
So because of that, insurance companies won't insure a baby until day 15. But usually in that first 14 days, most babies are still, well, no, actually they kind of let you out within between 3 days and 3 hours, or 3 hours and 3 days in the hospital. I don't know, when is the last time, you got kids?
No, I got no kids, no.
Okay. When's the last time one of you pump and dumpers had a baby out there who...
I don't know if anybody in the chat room will answer that. We're gonna have to plead the fifth on that one. We're not gonna.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, at any rate, but it's up to once that child is 15 days, you can actually purchase a life insurance policy on them. And there are situations where children do die, but there are also situations where children do live. And the thing about having a life insurance policy on a child is that it's very inexpensive to insure them. So a lot of the money that you put into the policy goes into their cash value, and it grows over time. So because they live with that life insurance policy instead of die, by the time their age of majority, if you got it when they're 15 days old, by the time they're 15 years old, there's probably a few $1,000s for them there.
Already lined up for them. Yeah. But that's kind of smart that they wait for a certain period of time, because let's say children die after giving birth, it's going to be too much costly for the insurance to keep paying out, especially high risk pregnancy, women over 35, It's not a smart thing, And not saying a woman can't attempt to do it, but once you get to that point, I mean, they're not going to look at you. Just like they won't look at certain men and women of certain health problems, because you're too expensive. You know what I'm saying? We was hoping that you add into this bill. You piled up your money, invest in us. We can't sit there, something happen to, we gotta keep paying you or pay millions of people like that. How you gonna make money? Insurance, at the end of the day, people must understand they gotta make money. You get me?
Yeah, that's true.
Corporation invested because it's business wiseness, business move, because they're in to make money, sustain money, and it's a good little banking too, if you think about these insurance policies.
There's actually a concept in insurance called infinite banking, where you can become your own bank with your life insurance policy.
See that? Yes. Yeah, I like that. So I like about that. Yeah. Let me see if anybody else in the comments says anything.
Nope. That's a good question, though. Keep them coming, because I actually like that question.
I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, you didn't know that. Well, you learned something new, JT Coins. I think what are the questions? I'm trying to cover. I don't know if you listened earlier parts of the stream. I did mention a lot of things besides the celebrities and the influx of new immigrants after the war. I don't know if you
Oh
heard.
man,
Yeah.
I did not hear that, but I can definitely speak to you're talking about after this whole Afghanistan thing and the millions of immigrants into America.
Yes, yes. Well, it says 100,000, but we know it's in the millions now. So it's like they're not gonna send. They're not gonna send like 300 to 400K immigrants. No, they gonna drive
They're gonna send them in the millions.
millions. Because think about it. Now you're now dealing with reparations for putting these people through trauma, pain, etc. And it's funny how black people can't get their reparations, but that's not a story. But you go put a war out for 20 years now, you sit there not only giving reparations, but a leg up with incentives, housing, food, education. I mean, one guy wrote, wait, I think JT wrote some. Let me see what he says. Also, IULs, I think.
Yeah, that's generally the type of product I sell is a IUL. Those are the type of policies you're going to use to overfund. You hear me talk about MECs or modified endowment contracts often. I love IULs. They're probably the best thing out there. You'll hear a lot of people like Sue Zorman and Dave Ramsey idiotically speak against them. They'll speak against cash value life insurance in total. But one of Dave Ramsey's largest holding is a cash value life insurance policy. Just an FYI.
Excellent.
So, and those are big dogs. I know everybody knows. If you don't know who Sue Zorman is, you know who Dave Ramsey is. And a lot of what he says is patoy. Not saying all of it, but especially the negativity he speaks on life insurance. He just did one for his daughter. That's nice. Hopefully you overfunded it.
Oh yeah, you got to overfund that one for real. And it's needed because we're not sure what the future holds. And a lot of parents nowadays, I think mostly mothers, they're not really being proactive in regards to life insurance. Trust me, we know, because one thing with, and I'm not saying mothers won't do it, but let's be honest, a lot of women nowadays, if there's no incentive for these children, they're not going to really put no time and energy at all. It's proven evident when they had to sit home with their children and make sure they do the schoolwork during the whole virtual learning. A lot of the children fail some parts in the cities across America because a lot of mothers, they had to sit there and be actual parents, like stay-at-home moms. And it proves evident, Alonso, a lot of women are not, modern women are not really prepared to be wives, knowing how they handle this pandemic with their children when they had to be home with them. And they said
they're definitely more prepared to be in a situation like Saweetie, where they're looking for a sugar daddy to buy them a Birkin bag. And a great way that they can maneuver that is actually to get a sugar daddy to buy a life insurance policy. For pennies on the dollar, you can actually guarantee that a Pookie or Ray Ray will get you a life insurance policy. Will get you a Birkin bag, because Pookie or Ray Ray will probably get shot or get shanked in prison. When he dies, there's a check of $1 million. You can spend $40,000-$50,000 on that Birkin bag. Bam.
Wow. I will cover her entire life. It's wonderful. Yes.
Yeah.
It has a rider attached along with the critical care. Okay. A rider. Sounds good.
Okay, that's a living benefit. Most policies come with living benefit. Are you talking about critical illness or long-term care? Because those are two different riders. So critical illness is a living benefit. You'd have a critical, chronic, or terminal illness. Terminal meaning living 12 months or less. Chronic meaning, wait, what did I say? Chronic, terminal, and fuck, I can't remember all three of them. It's 2:30 in the morning.
The guy said both.
Yeah. All right. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up. But even back to the thing with the Afghanistan people, that they're flooding them here in America in some parts, different states across this country. Um, I think because what has happened now that a lot of people that are quote unquote what do they call it, Jewish people, they are slowly but surely come back to certain areas that they left decades ago to buy up
Mm,
property. Because now, if you think about it, because we all know New York's expensive to live, I know this.
mm,
Um, so what they do now is because they left certain parts, come back to New Jersey, maybe some parts of Boston, New Haven, or some parts of Connecticut, those states.
Honey
That
crazy.
yeah, they come back, yeah, and they have the resource and funds, and probably know some people in politics to make it happen. You get me?
Hmm.
And I think when they talk about regentrification, only thing you see moving forward is going to probably accelerate more because of this pandemic. Because let's be honest, certain parts of the city, a lot of people not gonna live in no city that's way expensive. You know what I'm saying? I just
Right,
don't see it. That a lot of people that go that live that work in the city, they commute. You get me?
right,
But now because people are at home doing work now, they don't have to commute no more.
right.
So we shall see what's going to happen. My concern, besides that and other things, is that people not paying attention that they are flooding more immigrants from that war, and they're going to give them all the incentives, and they're not really talking about that, bro. You get me?
Right.
They're very much quiet. They think say, "Oh, it's a good thing." No, actually, it's a detriment because now what they do, they try and push you out more.
Exactly. It dilutes our population. But here's what's even crazier about that.
Mhm,
And this was actually something I did an article on yesterday.
mhm,
Foreigners are very interested in American life insurance policies because it does things like create tax shelters. And when you are a foreign national and you purchase property in America, you create an estate. So you end up having to pay American taxes on top of whatever you pay overseas, da 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 da, da,
mhm,
which is messed up. But they want, and it says it's really, the article said that Mexicans are really big on buying American life insurance policies. Now
okay.
that's ironic when there's also a December 10th, 2002 article that shows members of the Colombian cocaine cartel
Mhm,
hid $80 million of dirty money in life insurance.
mhm. Wow. Yeah, you heard that, guys? And mind you, this is something that Alonso been saying this for a while now, but it's always educational to reinforce this. And I'd like to give a shout out to the coin rings for the contribution. I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. That they are doing this. And not only are doing this, they have been doing this very much on the rug for some time now. And it actually protects them from their own revenue. Because they know said doing that type of life is a risk. And the only way you can protect yourself is to have greater defense, which you have to have insurance for everything. So let's say they get caught up with a bill on stuff. Where can they find the capital to liquidate? They did that with life insurance. And mind you, life insurance will concede. Now people say, well, why is life insurance helping criminals? Because life insurance is for the public and for the people, because they work for the people. It's like this, Alonso. You work for me. You get
Yeah,
me? People don't understand. Once you pay into the to your life insurance um person, he works for you. That's it. If he doesn't do a good job working for you, he does not stay in business. It is what it is. So that's how criminals were able to work with certain insurance companies because, like I said, they work for you. And the story. I hope that was clear for all those that will listen to this. But if you want to add on to that, Alonso.
yeah, absolutely right. Also, when we're talking about that, we're going to talk about ownership. And I think that's a very important thing because people don't understand how ownership in corporations or companies quite works. I understand stocks a little bit, but y'all don't. Nobody really understands the true thing of ownership.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I'm going to ask you, Chaos, are you on a computer or are you like elsewhere?
I'm on my computer right now.
Okay. In a separate tab, can you Google this company?
All right. If you put, I don't know if you're in the back chat. If you want me to copy the link,
Yeah, I'll just put it in the back chat. And oh, hold up, I just closed my
Mhm. As we wait, for those that's listening, thank you. This is the after hour edition of Chaos Reign. You know, the after dark edition. You know, here, you know, it's open panel, open forum. We talk about everything from social media, politics, etc. I don't do much of these streams because, you know, these are late night streams, but I will take the time out my day to do these streams. And like always, for those that catch replay, if you want to hear more of these after hour streams, leave a comment at the end of this live stream.
All right, sorry about that.
All right. Okay, so let me Google this. Let me see.
So I was talking about ownership.
All right. PIMCO, fixed income later. Global fixed income. Let me see if this is the one you want me to look at as I share my screen. Where is it? All right. All right. Let's share it now.
Yes.
Okay.
So PIMCO is the largest mutual fund in the world. Have you heard of PIMCO?
No.
Do you invest in ETFs?
I have not invested anything. I did invest in some stocks, but I stopped. So as far as I could tell you.
Were they like did you do anything with like Vanguard or a big company like Fidelity or anything?
No, I never. I know that Fidelity you could create some for to invest in stocks with Fidelity, but I have never done that.
Okay, so a lot of different ETF. Have you ever traded anything on like Acorn?
The thing I traded was on TD Ameritrade and what's the other app? I think it's Robinhood, might be.
Okay, so yeah, if you've done it on Robinhood, then it's likely that you've heard of PIMCO, because those things will not only just have single stocks, but they will have ETFs. So PIMCO holds a lot of ETFs.
I see.
And PIMCO is in a lot of ETFs. But it's a mutual fund. So this is what I wanted to talk to about ownership and things like life insurance. A lot of life insurance, just like investment corporations, investing in companies is good, but investing then means that you can't expect a company to do things like have a bleeding heart or have good causes or not throw plastic in the ocean that kills the dolphins.
Yeah.
Why? Because if you're investing in a publicly traded company, then your company's goal is to make the most amount of returns for its shareholders.
Correct.
Now, there's something called a mutual company, which is a privately held company. And a mutual company is owned basically by its shareholders. Generally, its shareholders are people who own a part of the company because they've purchased into it. How is that possible? Well, most insurance companies are mutual companies. And so what happens is, as you become a policy owner, you also own a percentage of the company. So that goes back to like what you said. Once you purchase a policy from me, I worked for you. Once you purchase a policy from MetLife, New York Life, Colonial Penn, whomever, State Farm, Allstate, Liberty Mutual, they work for you.
Mhm.
So with a mutual company, once you purchase a life insurance policy and you've held it for a certain period of time, you actually own that company, and they will send you things like shareholders meetings notes and letters in the mail. Now, most of the time people don't open them. They open them, see it's not a bill, and throw the shit away. But you do get it sent. But I just wanted you to look at PIMCO because that's the largest mutual fund in the world. And most people aren't familiar with that. And the reason that's germane is because a lot of people globally are familiar with that. And when it comes to diluting Americans, they're using things, again, like that life insurance. And then they're able to go to financial institutions like this because life insurance not only does it build cash value, it adds to your net worth. So what will Americans say? How are these foreigners coming over here and getting all these loans? And then they say stuff like, I came to America with $25 and no pairs of shoes. How is it possible? Well, part of that is that they did come over here with $25 and one pair of shoes. But that's because they left everything else at home. They may have lived in the lap of luxury because they had a life insurance policy, and that life insurance policy added to their net worth. So when they came over here to the bank with $25 and a pair of slippers and walked into the bank looking crazy to Americans, on paper, Americans saw this person had a cash value life insurance that had been in force for more than 2 years.
Mm. Mm.
And saw that their net worth was increased by $1 million, so they were eligible for a large business loan.
Okay. One guy wrote, I did not know until recently that the banks are heavily, but in life insurance policies. Okay. So that.
Billions.
Mm-hmm.
One bank put $6 billion in the stock market and $21 billion into life insurance.
Hear that? See that? Let me stop this. Yeah. So I hope that. Oh, I see. Oh, wait, man. Wrote some emojis. Let me see the emojis. I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and JT Coin Rings. I know you have a chance on coins and stuff. If you don't mind, sir, if you could put your email either in the comment section at the end of the stream or in the chat, wherever, I'll probably reach out to you. I probably will want to do a show down the line if possible. Yeah. But it is what it is, Alonso. Any closing remarks? Because I think I will conclude this here.
No, I'm pretty decent, man. You know my thing, man. It's like I said, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired, but when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.
Mm-hmm. You always gotta accept the challenge. That's the whole point. Because, like I said, it builds character, it builds our knowledge, and a lot of things. So shout out to Alonso Hall, and to all that was listening to today's stream. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Wait, before I do this, one thing is evident in wrapping up this. Just keep an open mind to what is said. If you want to do your own research to what is said, that would go a long way as well. My thing is this. Winter is eventually coming. And for those who don't prepare for winter, you're eventually going to be out on the roads into the deep cold, But that's the last message I could say for that. Oh, and for those, please tune in for the stream in regards my views on the events with Mercedes Moore. So if you're not subscribed to Chaos Reign channel, what are you waiting for? Do so. Hit that top bell. Not just the middle, but the top bell. Make sure you hit the red button to subscribe before you hit the bell. Also, follow me on Twitter at Chaos Reign 7. And if you're on Facebook, follow me, add me as a friend on Facebook. Eric Rain on Facebook. But like always, thanks for listening. And you know where to find me. Lady Chaos, Rain.